Dr. Otto Janke with Empire Longevity. Let's take a dive into the second portion of the pyramid of health, and that is rocket fuel. Rocket fuel. Let's not get overwhelmed with the micronutrients of stuff, of foods. Let's not get overwhelmed with that, because one of the simplest things, and this happens in life all the time, is that we try to make things so accurate and so precise, and we get overwhelmed with information that we then don't do anything because it's too much. It's just too much. I don't know what to do. It's like what? So let's start with the simplest things. What do people who are the healthiest eat? If we started there, if I ask you a very simple question, if I was to ask you right now, give me 3 foods that you eat that you know you shouldn't. Go ahead, take a moment. So my first question to you is, why are you eating them? Why are you eating them? It's very, very simple. So we want to decrease. I'm not going to ask you to eliminate anything. Just decrease the things you know you shouldn't, and increase the things you know you should. That second part is usually a difficult thing for people, because they go to the grocery store and they figure, well, if it's in the grocery store, it must be healthy for us. I mean, at least it's food, right? We're putting something in. And so I go back to, what is it that the people who on earth, what do those people eat? And the majority of them eat I call it a plant-forward diet. Fruits and vegetables, not alone. I think some of those people do live the longest. But if we look at a diet called like the Mediterranean diet, easy to do. Mediterranean diet, easy to do. If you look at diets that are done around the world for the people who live the longest, it is much like a Mediterranean diet. There are 4 books that have changed the way I look at food. The first one was done back in, my dear Lord, this is going to be a long time ago. I remember watching this video years and years and years ago. This is 1987. This is Diet for a New America. This is an old book. I watched the video of this when I was first in practice, a couple years after this. And it was like holy smokes. This is what happens to people who eat like Americans eat. And if you're going to eat like an American, the sad part about it is, then you gotta die like an American too. Then you gotta have the symptoms and the mass amounts of medications like Americans. I don't wanna do any of that. I wanna have vitality. I wanna be rocking as much as possible. So I make sure I get a lot of water all the time. Yeah, you're gonna pee more. Welcome to the group. So I get a lot of water all the time. I am a coffee drinker, but I drink a lot of water. I don't drink alcohol, but I drink a lot of water, and I make sure I'm a plant-forward eater. It's not that I don't have the animal stuff, it's just that I'm gonna consume as much of the plant stuff as possible. Another book that I think is fantastic, and this guy is a friend of ours, How Not to Diet. That's by Michael Greger. I'll leave the links for you, by Michael Greger. Fantastic. It's a big book, but a lot of references in it. He has a website called nutritionfacts.org. I'll leave a link for you. I think that's a fantastic book. 2 other books which just set me back, and they're just like, holy crap. One is The China Study by our friend T. Colin Campbell, a friend of Empire Longevity, in which they look at, why is it these people are living longer and they have dramatically less heart disease and cancers than us? You know, heart disease and cancers have been the number 1 killers of Americans. Heart disease and then cancer have been the number 1, number 2 killer of Americans for decades. We haven't made a dent in them whatsoever. Why? Because we need to start changing what we put into us to fuel us. But the China Study looks at it and says, why is those people are living longer than us, and they eat a fraction of the amount of food that we do? The other book, which I think should be absolutely fundamental reading for anybody who eats food in America, is How to Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease by Caldwell Esselstyn Jr. Again, another friend of ours of the Empire Longevity, and I've spoken with him, I've interviewed him. Fantastic study. If we knew there was a way to absolutely prevent your house from catching on fire, would you be interested in that? Yes. Would you be interested in finding a way which you know that your tires would never go flat? Yes. How about your car never having a, yes, I would, you never having a bug on your computer. Where's that? Give that to me right away. If we knew there was a way which you can prevent and or reverse heart disease, the #1 killer of Americans, would you be interested in that? Again, he looks at a vegan diet. Vegan diet, no animal products whatsoever. Fantastic to look at both of those. I would highly recommend you read both of those, all 4 of them, and take them what you can. What you're going to find is plant forward. Same as I do, plant forward. What I find amazing is this, and I've done this. Have you ever sat down and ate a whole bag of potato chips? Me too. I have. How many times have you gotten done? I mean, you eat the whole bag of potato chips. You're like, you know something? I could probably go for another bag of potato chips. It happens. I've been there too. But how many times you ever sat down, had an apple, then said, you know something? I think I might have another 2 apples. It doesn't happen. Your body says, I got what I need from that great food. What's amazing about apples, you look on the little code for the apples, it says apple. If you have to find a whole bunch of other different things that are in something, you know it's probably not going to be the best choice for you. I'm going to start there. Let's start there. Let's find out about those things that you know you shouldn't be eating. Let's start decreasing those. And let's start increasing the things that are going to be anti-inflammatory, and they're going to help you fight cancer. They're going to help you think better because they're going to help you have a brain work better. And they're going to help to fuel you just the way you need to. Increase the water. I also go through times when I do fasts. We'll talk that down the road. But let's start with the simple things, the reasonable, effective, cost-effective things. Cost-effective is you're already going to the grocery store and you're already buying food. Why not buy better stuff for you? Let's start there. We'll see you next week.